Welcome to Stitch with me. Today we are going to be working on our Sugarplum, or today I'm going to be working on my Sugarplum Swirl mandala. I am wearing my Make Time to Make Stuff shirt. See, ta-da, ta-da. I have those in the shop. If you want one, you can find them in our merch section. They are the theme shirt from our Spring 2026 Makers Weekend. Okay, let's get started. We are going to work on the peppermint part today. So let's bring our video around. Okay, first step, I just want to go around. This is the boring one. I just want to go around each of the peppermints with a white size 8 pearl cotton back stitch. I want it to finish it off, but mostly almost hide behind it. And then we're going to get brave and we're going to try. We may hate it and try something else. All right, so if I am doing a back stitch, I start one stitch in. This is not the usual direction I do. Well, it'll work fine for doing the back stitch this way. Usually I would go the other way. But it doesn't matter as long as we just stay close to that shape. So I'm stitching entirely in the background, but right next to our applique shape. So it gives it kind of a nice edge finish there. I like a back stitch in places where I want an edge finish, but I don't want it to stand out too much. If I want it to be more standouty, I would use a stem stitch or a chain stitch. The thing that bugs me, yeah, it bugs me about, now do I want to do 2 stitches or just a big one? I think I'm going to do a big one. Thing that bugs me about a back stitch is, or about any stitch around the outside of a shape, is that it can change the shape. If it's a very well-defined shape, like a small star or something like that, when you add that other layer around the outside of it, you can make it so that it doesn't have the detail. And so back stitch is your best to avoid that problem of changing the shape detail. But it would be the reason that I every once in a while skip it. And a little bit similar to this one would be if we were to tack down, okay, all these spots where I let let it go over the edge of the peppermint. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be regretting those. I mean, I have a choice. I can put the peppermint swirls where I want, right? I just skipped over that spot with my outlining, or with my, back stitching here. Another option is to couch your size 8 in place, or even to do it with a tiny thread, like a size 12. For me, I kind of feel like this is supposed to be thread that my applique thread sort of butts up against. And something as tiny as a 12, for me, it's not going to butt up against it because it's going to be too small. To me, most of the wool that we use is about the same thickness or more in line with a size 5. So there's that. Okay, we're back to the beginning on this one. And I'm just going to slip over to the next one. All right. What else shall we talk about today? I can't remember what I've talked about in past videos. If you're like, you say the same thing every time, sorry about that. I had been looking for something to listen to because I like to listen when I'm stitching or when I'm working. And I'm a little bit... Okay, I have 2 different things. Sometimes I'm in a true crime mood and I want to listen to some of the details of that, and sometimes I'm I'm wanting rom-com type, but not inappropriate. A little more conservative. And I started listening because I saw a bunch of ads for it. I saw a bunch of ads for a TV adaptation or movie adaptation of a book called Seeking Persephone. And I liked the little snippets that I was seeing, and it made me a little bit curious. So I checked it out, and sure enough, I could listen to it. And so I ordered the audiobook and I listened to it. And then my daughter and I watched the videos. And so she watched the videos first and then read the book, and I did it in the other order. And she said she liked having read the book because she understood more of the backstory that wasn't very well presented in the movie, probably just because, or in the TV, probably just because they couldn't. So I think that the Duke was more of a mystery to her when we were watching it, with why is he doing what he's doing, where the book had explained a lot more of that. Even from the very beginning, it had explained the point of the whole movie. So I'd recommend that you read it first and then watch the series, because it's excellent. Now, my understanding is that there are more books in that series. Persephone has several siblings, and that Sarah Eden is the author, and that she has written like a book for each sibling, or maybe, I don't know. But the next one I thought was, or the name of the one that it suggested next, I thought was her younger sister's name. So, but I don't know, I like that one so much, I'm like, I don't want to try another one. What if I don't like it? So there's my 2 bits of reading advice. The other reading advice, so when I was at what we affectionately call Stitching with Friends, so years ago, 2018 I think it was, wow, almost 10 years, I saw an advertisement for a wool applique and embroidery class in a local quilt store called My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop. And at the time, I was looking for something I could do next to my son's bedside. He was dying he had lots of health complications from his chromosome abnormality, but he, at the time, needed pretty much constant supervision. But he mostly slept. You just had to be there and make sure that he was breathing and that everything was going well. So you had to be next to his bed, and I couldn't cook next to his bed. I couldn't do my sewing machine next to his bed, but I could do handwork. I could do things on the computer, and I could do handwork. And so I decided to take the class, and a few of the ladies that I took the class with, we got together after the class ended. We kept meeting together once a month, and a few of us still meet together today. And so, yeah, why did I start that story? Anyway, that we call it Stitching with Friends. So Stitching with Friends, we were talking the other day, and one of them asked a question about, I don't even remember what it was, but it reminded me that one of the books that I have really enjoyed as a stitcher is called The Gown. It is a story about the embroiderers who worked on the Queen's wedding gown, and some of the details with that, where costs were an issue because they were in the middle of the war, and the people, and what that meant. And I don't remember many of the details from that book. I just remember really liking it. So that's my other recommendation, is The Crown. And I don't know who wrote it, but you got to make sure you get the one that the summary says that it was about the embroiderers working on the Queen's dress. So do I read? No. Do I listen? Yes. It's not that I'm opposed to reading. I've read books. There have been many times where I was up later than I should have been finishing a book in bed at night. Finishing a book in 2 days or something like that. But at this point, first of all, I feel like audiobooks are more accessible and not as expensive, I guess. And because you're not buying a bunch of CDs that you got to keep swapping out. So I'm conscious of wanting to be doing something at the same time. So yeah, I mostly listen to books. I have done a couple of book clubs, but I'm also old and grumpy. Is that the right way to say it? Am I old and grumpy? I do not want to be distraught. I don't want to purposely choose to read something that I think is going to be upsetting to me. Same thing with things I watch. I don't need to add to my stress levels. So I'm a little bit careful about what I choose. I know the whole point of writing a book is to have people feel something, but I don't know if I want to feel that much. My personal life itself is enough stress and concern, because first you have kids you're concerned about, and then you have grandkids you're concerned about, and you're still concerned about the kids too, and everybody faces challenge after challenge. That sure, they have blessings and wonderful things about their lives, but that doesn't mean they're not still facing challenges. So I choose to kind of fill my entertaining time with usually things that are more relaxing and not too stressful. Lately, I don't know, to me, designing and running a business is keeping my mind going, but I decided that it might be healthy for me to do some more logic type things. And so I picked a couple of games on my phone to play, and I don't know if it's healthy or not. I've probably been playing them. I don't think I started before the beginning of July, so I've been playing them for less than a month. And I'm in the 200s and 300s on levels. That doesn't mean it takes very long. Like one of them, a long level is when it takes me 5 minutes, but most of the time it's shorter than that. And I like to embroider to unwind for the day, but I felt like I needed something that might be more mentally challenging for me. So yeah, I've been playing a couple of little games. One of them, I can't remember what my version's called, but they're the ones where they have a whole bunch of arrows in a square or shape or whatever, and you tap them in the order so that they disappear off of the surface without running into any others. That one has been it's been interesting to me to think of it as, look, everybody's going to get a turn to get off. We just have to figure out whose turn's next. And just the mental exercises and going, not you because you would hit that guy, not you because you would hit that guy. Okay, well, how can we get rid of these over here? Oh, look, there's that one that's in the way, but that one, if we clicked on this other little one, we could get rid of that one, and then, yeah, away we go. So, yeah, I think that the logic and the thinking steps ahead has been a healthy thing. The other one, again, it was advertised. It's called Meow Doku. So it's similar to Sudoku, which I also love. I used to. Back in the day, I had several Sudoku books that I'd worked my way through. You can only put one cat per row, one cat per column, and one cat per color. And that's the part that makes it different. And so I really enjoyed playing that one, and then I got to a point, in that game where I'm not good enough at thinking that far ahead. I need it to go back. I can't remember what level I'm on, like 130 something, I can't remember. I need to go back to about the 70s and just have lots of practice on that level. so that I see myself improving in the strategies in the other games, and in that one, it's too hard, too fast. So I'm not making improvements. I'm watching stupid videos so that I can get hints to try and learn. Yeah. So I've hit the point where you have to think about 4 steps ahead. Like, if I were to put a cat in this spot, then that would mean something else has to happen here. And I can do 3 levels. It's when I've got to think 4 steps ahead that I'm not doing so well with it. And that's where I'm at as far as the difficulty level goes. So that one, I just play the daily game because they're not quite as hard every day. I don't know how they decide what level the daily game's at, but yeah, I just play the daily game of that one. And then the third one is just a search. They are things that might normally appear in the picture, might not normally appear in the picture. Sometimes they're halfway hidden. Sometimes, lots of times, they're in plain sight, but they're the same color as what they're hiding amongst or whatever. So, and that one also, I'm finding 50 things. I think those usually take me 5 minutes, sometimes 7 or so. So, but I think it's looking at things more analytically. You can zoom in, so sometimes I zoom in, and it's especially like I go through and get all the obvious ones, and then when I'm hunting for specific ones, to be able to look at things under a different light and go, okay, if I'm looking for something that's yellow, now if it's in the shade or shadows, it might be gray with a tinge of yellow. But yeah, just being able to look through and analyze things, I think that one's been good for me too. So, learning new things is good for us. So anything that I do with stitching where I'm learning something new, that exercises our brain. One that keeps coming up, so this tells you a little bit about my personality or my likes and dislikes. One advertisement for a game that keeps coming up is, okay, I just usually ignore it during that time, but it wants you to take whatever letters it gives you. It gives you the letters for a word and make as many words from it as you can. And I thought, no, I don't want any word games. Math games, logic games, sure. Word games, I don't know if I'm very good at that. But I've seen the same commercials so many times that I'm like, okay, teacher is one of them, waterfall is one of them, rainbow is one of them, waterfall, teacher, and charity is one of them. Those are the 3 that show up in the commercials all the time. So sometimes I'll think, well, what words could I make from teacher? Could I make 25 words from teacher? Yeah. But yeah, I usually shy away from the things that could be classified as English or language arts. Those were not my talents in school. Still aren't. Would it improve my vocabulary? Probably. All right, I think since we've only got about enough thread to take our needle to the back, we'll go ahead and tie that one off. We're almost to the scary part, or the most exciting part, depends on what you think. Where are we at? Okay. We're going to have another, at some point I'll be like, dang, I should have kept my spools, my empty spools, so I could see how many spools have I emptied during my lifetime of stitching. Honestly, I don't know if that seems like very many. Whites, yes. Lots of whites. I've probably gone through several whites. And there's a few other colors. Browns and greens. Colors you end up using over and over again. Okay, we're about to up the blue or the pink on this project. quantity of pink substantially. And I'm hopeful that will give us a clue as to what we want to put in between the space. Also, you know, when you're working on a mandala, if you're doing one that's got a theme, you can think about what are other motifs. So I've got the little peppermint candies. I've got the boughs, and I'm going to do little, or the garlands, and I'm going to do little ornaments in between. So, but I could use the peppermint stripes is another one. And as I was thinking about it last night, when I was working on names for it, holly, sugar plums and holly or something like that, I can't remember. And I went, ooh, holly would be another one that we could do. Holly and berries would be another motif that we could, that fits with this theme, that I could use to fill space. I don't know. Well, holly could be lines too. Oh, we're so close. We just lack the last two. Okay. Haha. I just knocked off paper that I need. All right. That's backwards. That's forward. Okay. Because I am right-handed, I like driving my needle with my right hand. So I prefer going this direction. But if I needed to go the opposite direction, I would just flip the whole thing upside down. And then I could drive with I'd still be driving with my right hand, but I'd be going the opposite way in effect on the project. So I have a collection of the pens that I've used to mark on this. I always hate to get rid of them, and I don't know why, because it drives me crazy when I try to write with them and there's not anything left in them. And I do a lot of marking and erasing. That, and I don't always keep track of them very well, so I usually have 3 or 4 pens open at a time. 3 probably. I opened a new one yesterday, and I'm trying not to confuse it with the other 2 that didn't work. I need to evaluate if they were just giving me fits temporarily or if it's time to retire them. Okay, what size ornament do you put in there? Do you put a bigger one that just barely fits? Do you put a smaller one that's more scaled in size to the same as the boughs? Do you want more color, so you want it to be bigger? Do you want to add something fun around the bottom down here, so you don't want to fill the space, you just want to do an ornament up here, and then you can do something in this little kind of wedge right here. Look at all the different options that you have. Even if you had copied this exactly to this point, you still get to be creative in what you decide to do. I think that I'm probably going to go with a bigger ornament, not huge. I don't want it to overpower the space, but probably a 1/2 inch circle, except I'm kind of tempted to do it like a teardrop, or I don't know what it's called. Pointed on the top and pointed on the bottom. Because of the shape of this, I'd kind of like to go cat's eye. Is that what that's called? I don't know. I don't have any dies that shape. And cutting out 8 of them all the same. I could do it, right? But I probably wouldn't want to draw them first so that I could draw and so I can iron my freezer paper on and cut them out carefully. I don't want it to be as much pink as is right here, because I feel like if it's just got blotches of pink, that's what it's going to come across as. So I need it to be smaller than that. And I want it to be big enough that there's space on it to decorate. Whether that's stripes or stripes and dots, I don't know. We're getting closer. That sound in there reminds me. I have had a toothache. Today's the first day that it hasn't been bugging me a lot because I got on some antibiotics. I still need a root canal. A root canal on a tooth that already has a root canal. Apparently that's a thing that after, I don't know, 25 years they can give up on you. So, unless the endodontist finds something different when he does the fancy schmancy 3D x-ray, then I still have more than a week before I can get in, but that noise in there, I don't even know what it was, but it reminded me of dentist's office noises. All right. Sounds like a ceiling fan, but there's no ceiling fan in here. All right, are we ready to get brave? Okay, I got to mark where we're going to stitch the peppermint, and that's the paper that fell on the floor, so that they would all be the same. I went ahead and marked 2 little peppermints, so I'm probably going to just cut out one of them. Okay, and put that little guy right here. Let's mark the center of each one. That way I can put my dot on the center. It's interesting because I could have sworn that I did a shape that was the right size, but okay, let's do a pokey, 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 and then pokey, 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 and then let's see, poke, 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 poke. Okay, one of my concerns here is that we end up with it being even. Wow, that's a lot of. Okay, so that comes into here and that comes into here, and they go out like that. Then the next one goes out like that. And then the next one, this is where we have to figure out what stitch makes the most sense for these guys. Okay. I love the Petite Berry Velvet. It's a chenille, but it's such a fine chenille. It's also one that you shouldn't do very long lengths. It's such a fine chenille that it doesn't tend to fall apart or peel apart or anything. Oh no, it threaded just fine. Okay. Okay, one option I considered was satin stitches. But my concern is with the satin stitches up here in the super tiny part, with that working. So I think we're going to try chain stitches. Let's see how that works. Let's try from the big edge of the swirl first. I want them to be small chain stitches, and I want to stay inside where those dots are. And I want them to be pulled plenty tight because I don't want holes. Otherwise I'll have to come back and fill in the holes with like back stitches. So we'll try the first row. This is kind of a combination of chain stitch and satin stitch, but not really. Then the last one, we'll go right there to the center. Make sure we pull that one tight. Okay, now the next one, it's going to be another row. So look at this row and see how wide it is, and then go over half that distance for the next row. Don't forget to pull it snug. So this one will stop sooner. Same thing, the next one. Okay, last time I didn't quite think I went wide enough. This time I think I went too wide. It's okay, we'll learn. Okay, that one stops also sooner than the last one. And then we have to figure out what to do, because this last one is not big enough for another chain stitch width, but it needs a little bit more width. So we're going to try like back stitching it. We might end up doing I don't think so. I think that just 2 little back stitches there will do it. There we go. Okay, so there's our first little segment. Deep breath. Okay, let's try the next segment. Remember that you want to keep this, you don't want to wear on it too much, so I kept it to about 18 inches. Okay, remember we're starting out here. This is the part where I said I might regret it, because I'm going to end up putting pink over top of green in some places. That's okay. It can poke through the holes or not. It'll be fine. Remember, we're staying just inside that blue line. I'm already I can already tell that I'm going to love how this is turning out. Okay, that one. That last stitch, a chain stitch may not fit. We'll have to, in my case it did this time, but I wondered about that last time, if my very last stitch should have been just a straight stitch tacking that down. Okay, let's come out here and do the next one. Remember to figure out how wide your stitch is going to be and go half that distance away. That's plenty long of a stitch. 2, 3. So far for me, my first row is 5 stitches. My second row is 4, except that one I even quit before 4 and did a straight stitch so I don't go over that blue line. Maybe I'd have fit 4 if I hadn't taken such a big step in the beginning. Two, 3, and my 4th one. Now see, that one didn't have 4, but this one does. I don't know, I trace lines. They'll be close. They'll be close, but they'll be real. Let's just do 1 there, plus tack it down, and then 1 last one. No, I'm not going to do the last one. I know that I can see that, but I think the last one will make this a lot wider, and I don't want it wider than the others. So let's tie that off. And put 18 more inches in. So if it takes 1.5 yards to do each one of these, there's 3 times 8, that's 24. 24 half yards is 12, and this comes with 15 yards on it. So you should have enough to do this part with 1 package of Petite Berry Velvet. You know that there's actually also just a Very Velvet that is about twice as big. Yeah, the only thing running in here is my mini split, so the mini split must sound like a ceiling fan. The fan in there's turned on, I guess. Yeah, I'm not going to do the 5th one on here. I'm just going to do a straight line to that middle spot because I think it'll be too bulky. Maybe after this I'll have to stalk the Amazon truck and see when it's bringing me that die cut. Interesting that last, if I just do a long stitch to tack down the end of my chain stitch, it seems to be a little simpler to get the right shape here. Okay, let's tie that off. Let's put our eraser end of our pen to work. Cleaning those guys up. Did we get it all? I think we did. Oh my goodness, those are going to be adorable. Okay, so I think I've kept you long enough today. Yeah, we've been here for 40 minutes, so I'll probably work on those in my at my bedside. No, I'll probably okay. I will probably work on the rest of those in my recliner tonight before bed. All right, we will see you in the next video.